Hey guys, I have a match here with Synch from the Equinox chat. I think we met, and yeah, he's a guy that I've battled before, and we just couldn't ever get a good battle. But this one's pretty funny. So I leave with Jirachi, he leaves with Celebi. We both stood up stealth rocks, but I'm Scarf, so I decided I needed to switch now. And the reason I didn't trick is because sometimes I see Scarf Celebi leads too. But anyway, I go into Latias, and he goes for the T-Wave, which is bad because he paralyzes me. And then he goes for the Shadow Ball and gets a special defense drop. But, yeah, I end up getting the first of many crits in this battle. And, by the end of this battle, we have quite a few. So, as you can see, I'm keeping like a little crit counter. So, that's the first crit in the battle. And, yeah, I'm going to switch out because I see this Metagross, and I go into Jirachi. And, it turns out this is an Agilagross, and, that's kind of bad. And, I really don't want him to set up an agility and sweep my team, so I just go for the trick. At least now it's locked into one move. I mean, it's still kind of Scarfed, and Scarf Metagross still pretty good, but I'd rather have it Scarfed than agility, because then it can switch moves. So, yeah, he goes for the Earthquake, and, yeah, crit number 2 in this battle. He KOs Jirachi with an Earthquake. So, that sucks. And I go into Gyarados because I know he's locked into Earthquake now, and, yeah, he doesn't get intimidated, but he does have to switch because, obviously, Earthquake's not going to do a whole lot to Gyarados. So he goes into his own Gyarados as I go for the Dragon Dance, and I have Stone Edge, and this is a max attack Gyarados, so I decide just to go for it, and I go for the Stone Edge, and it ends up KOing his Gyarados, which is pretty nice for me, and that takes down the Gyarados, and that's pretty awesome because his Gyarados goes down. But he goes in Metagross, and I don't think I can one-hit KO this with anything, and I know he probably, if he's sending it out, has Thunder Punch. So I go into Latias, and Thunder Punch does about 60 damage to Latias, so I know I can survive another one, except crit number 3 happens. So, yeah, Latias goes down due to a crit, and that kind of blows. But now I go into Breloom because I don't think Thunder Punch can do a whole lot to me. And, yeah, I'm just going to set up the Spore on the switch, and I end up putting the Tentacruel to sleep. And I get poisoned due to my Toxic Orb, and now I'm just going to set up the sub. So I set up the sub on the switch. He goes into his Latias. So I set up the sub, and it's pretty nice because now I can just like Focus Punch. I know Focus Punch is resisted by Latias, but it's still pretty powerful, just because it's stabbed and it's a 150 base power attack, and then when it's stabbed is like over 200 or something. Just really powerful. But yeah, it breaks the sub, and that's pretty nice. Because he can't set up a sub, obviously. And he's going to try to break my sub with Dragon Pulse now, as I go for another Focus Punch. And, well, let's just say, yeah, crit number 4. And here it is, crit number 4. So this makes it probably the most crit-filled battle I think I've ever had. Both of us have had 2. But now he goes into Gengar, and I really don't want to stay in and yet hit with whatever he decides to do, so I go out in Vaporeon, and he actually does a lot of damage with Psychic to me. So that makes me kind of think that this thing is like choiced, and I think it's probably Specs, judging by the amount it did. So I go for the Protect, just to get some health back, and I think I can survive another Psychic at this point, so I go for a Wish so I can get even more health back. And he does go for the Psychic, as I go for the Wish. And now I'm going to Protect, so I can get my health back. And he protects the obvious Protect and decides to go out into Metagross. And my wish came true, and yeah, I go all the way back to near full health. And now he's in a Metagross, and because my last Protect failed, I get to do it again to see what he locks himself into, and he locks himself into Thunder Punch. And it's pretty useful information, because I'm going to go out into Raikou, who resists Thunder Punch. So he goes for the Thunder Punch, and it doesn't do a whole lot to Raikou, and I'm pretty sure he's going to switch, or decide to go for the sub. And he goes into Gengar, and depending if this thing is Scarfed or Specs, I should be able to outspeed it or not. So I go for the Calm Mind, and I am faster, so it's probably like Specs or something. So he goes for a Shadow Ball, breaks my sub, and that's not too good. But I know I'm faster. Raikou actually has a base 115 speed, while Gengar only has 110. So I'm faster, I go for the Thunderbolt, and that KOs Gengar, which is really good. and after a Calm Mind, Thunderbolt does quite a lot. And he goes into Metagross, and I don't want to get Earthquaked, so I go into Vaporeon, and he Earthquakes Vaporeon, and Vaporeon's, natural, or not really natural bulk, but EV given bulk. He also has some natural bulk, takes the Earthquake pretty well. So I'm just going to go for the Wish, and he goes into Tentacruel. So, yeah, not a whole lot to say. I decide to switch, and he also switches into Metagross. I guess trying to lock himself into something other than, Earthquake. So I go into Breloom, and Breloom gets the Wish, which is kind of pointless. But I went into Breloom just so I can try to set up on the Tentacruel. But he goes for the Earthquake. I guess maybe he was predicting a switch into Raikou. But instead I go into Vaporeon. So I'm just going to go for the... what is it? I think I go for the Protect. Or maybe... Yeah, the Protect to get some leftovers recovery. And, yeah. I gain some lefties again, and I just go for the Wish to get some health back since this thing is asleep, and I don't think he can do too much to me anyway. Now this Tentacruel is going to be a pain to try to hurt with Vaporeon, since Tentacruels are special walls, kind of. But I do have the Hidden Power Electric, so I decided to do it anyway and see what it does. And, yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot, but... it'll be some damage over time. So, Tentacruel's still asleep, and I'm just going to keep hitting it with Hidden Power Electric. And, it's doing, after a few Hidden Power Electrics, doing some decent damage. So, I go for the Hidden Power Electric, gets him into yellow, and he's still asleep. But the leftovers recovery is going to put him back into green health, but whatever. So, he's still asleep, and I'm still going to use Hidden Power Electric to do even more damage to him. And, yeah, I'm just slowly withering down his Tentacruel. Once he gets down to Metagross only, it'll be pretty easy for me since Metagross will have to be locked into one move, and I have Pokemon that resist pretty much all of his moves. But he actually decides to put down the Toxic Spikes, and I kind of predicted to switch into Metagross here, so I went for the Surf, but he doesn't, so whatever. And now I am going to finish him off with Hidden Power Electric. But he actually also has Hidden Power Electric, so he's going to be able to do some damage to me first. So, yeah, I guess. So here's my Hidden Power Electric, which will finish off the Tentacruel. And his last poke is Metagross. And I'm in Vaporeon, so I can just protect and see what he locks himself into. And he ends up locking himself into Thunder Punch. And I don't want to go right into Breloom just in case, like a crit or something, because I know it'll happen probably in this video, in this battle. So I go into Raikou. And he goes for the Thunder Punch again, obviously. And if I can finish it off with Raikou, great. If not, I'll just go into Breloom and I can Spore, Sub, Focus Punch for the win. So, yeah, Raikou goes for the Thunderbolt. And that's a 2-hit KO. And he's not able to quite KO me with Thunder Punch and the Poison. So, that's game. So, rate, comment, subscribe, guys. Good game, Synch. And, yeah, pretty awesome. So today's question of the day is, there's so many crits in this battle, tell me a story about a Haxu moment that you might have had in Pokemon, or if you don't play Pokemon, another game. One time me and my friend Chris Evans, I'm pretty sure you guys remember him, Quemilock666, we were playing a fun match back when Garchomp was still legal. So we had the Sandstorm up, and we just keep going for Outrage, and we actually both miss 4 times in a row. And during the entire thing, I was outspeeding him, and then the last time, the 5th time, he outsped me and killed me. I was so pissed. But leave a comment about that.